Module 1. Concepts of quality, quality assurance and improvement. Before we start to consider the requirements of ISO IEC 17020, we should perhaps discuss some basic principles. Firstly, we'll look at the concept of quality. The International Organization of Standardization, ISO, defines quality as the degree to which a set of inherent characteristics of an object fulfills requirements. This definition is perhaps not particularly helpful in practical terms, so we might look at some others. The American guru Phil Crosby coined the term conformance to requirements in the late 1970s, a definition which resonates fairly well with the activity of inspection. Another guru, Dr. Joseph Juran, put forward the concept of quality being fitness for purpose, which might be interpreted more broadly. Whatever definition might be preferred, the concept of quality begins with the customer who receives or uses the product or service provided. Have a think about what you might be looking for if you were selecting an organisation to perform some inspection work for you. Let's say you find a list of inspection bodies that you could potentially use in a catalogue or on the internet. What sort of things might you be expecting of them? Maybe that they're accredited, or that they're cheap, or at least reasonably priced. Stop the video here for a couple of minutes and think about what other things you might be looking for in addition to the above. Write them down. Okay, here is a list of some typical answers we might get. There are definitely more. In terms of an inspection activity, the customer will want to be confident that the organisation can actually do the work that they require them to do, that the results are correct and clearly reported, to make sure the work is done on time and to plan. Having the inspection body nearby might be an advantage to provide flexible and rapid service. The reputation and customer service and communication offered by the organisation may be important to the customer. Maintenance of confidentiality and impartiality is often critical. The customer will expect the work to be conducted and managed by competent personnel, equipped with adequate inspection kit which is properly maintained and where necessarily calibrated. You may well have more on your list. The inspection body must therefore strive to achieve these expectations and adapt these to continue to meet customer requirements and expectations in the future. The future requirements could be driven by new customer expectations, for example new legislation, shorter turnaround times, cost reductions, or technology or method improvements or identified risks. Going back to the concept of quality beginning with the customer's needs and expectations, the inspection body needs to try and fulfill these expectations, and that is the reason that standards contain requirements which are aimed at ensuring these needs and expectations are met. Having an inspection management system and having it accredited is about providing confidence that these things will be met. Of course, 17020 does not cover all customer expectations. It does not talk about pricing, environmental policy, or many other aspects that a customer might be interested in, but aims at those things which affect the quality and the integrity of the results. If we now look at the operation of an inspection body, whether it be an asbestos survey, weld inspection company, or a scene of crimes forensics team, there will be a sequence of activities which will be aimed at obtaining and delivering the results to the customer. If we take a site-based inspection body, this core business process might be made up of the following elements. The customer contract or service level agreement, which sets out the agreed expectations relating to the inspection work to be performed. In some organisations, this might be preceded by an inquiry or quotation process. a request from the customer to perform a particular inspection activity, planning an assignment of inspection personnel to conduct the work, mobilization of the inspection personnel together with any equipment or tools required to perform the work, conduct of the inspection, recording and reporting of the results, issue of the report, and finally possibly invoicing the work to be performed. Of course, the sequence and specific activities will depend on the type of inspection being carried out. However, in all cases, each step in the core business process will affect the next. In other words, if the output of one process is incorrect, incomplete or late, it will affect a subsequent process. Here we introduce the concept of quality assurance, which is to make sure that the processes are controlled properly with the aim of providing confidence in the end result. Of course, there are other processes which may have a profound effect on the output, which we shall refer to as support processes. Examples of these might be HR, human resource, training and competency assessment, calibration and maintenance of equipment, purchasing and supplies, reagents, consumables, equipment and services used in the performance of the inspection. And finally, IT and computer support services to support the operation. There are of course many more. Finally, management have a fundamental role to play in ensuring that these processes act together and in a common direction, leading the need for setting policies, strategic planning, setting objectives, resource planning, and reviewing the system to ensure that the organisation achieves its policies both now and in the future. We shall call these management processes for now. All of the above activities, whether they are core business, support or management, will affect the output, in this case the results of the inspection or the integrity of the inspected item to some degree. For this reason, they are included as requiring control in quality assurance standards such as ISO IEC 17020. The principles of quality assurance have been well established over many years in a variety of industries and are based upon the premise of controlling processes themselves in order to have confidence in their output or meet customer needs. Finally, it is accepted that things will go wrong, and as such there need to be robust processes for recording complaints, mistakes or adverse instances, taking appropriate action to ensure that these will not recur. Risks need to be assessed and mitigated and actions taken to improve the operation of the organisation over time, addressed in ISO IEC 17020 as preventive action, but more commonly forming part of an approach to continual improvement. These aspects are also covered by most quality management standards, which we will discuss in the following module. Finally, we have a quiz for you to complete to just test a little bit of your understanding of the initial module. Look forward to seeing you in module 2.